Is this the moment the Logan-Forrester truce finally burns to the ground? Or is Hope Logan simply taking back a destiny that was never meant to be controlled by others? Was her secret contract signing a calculated strike against years of Steffi's suppression? Or is she about to realize that the price of independence is the very family peace she spent her life protecting? The landscape of Los Angeles fashion is about to be permanently altered, and at the center of this tectonic shift is Hope Logan Spencer, a woman who has spent far too long playing the role of the patient martyr in a boardroom designed to favor her rivals. For months, we've watched as Steffi Forrester has used the corporate structure of Forrester Creations not as a tool for business, but as a weapon of psychological warfare, stalling hope for the future into a state of near extinction. From an analytical perspective, this wasn't just about fashion. It was about dominance and the erasure of the Logan identity within the Forrester walls. Hope has reached a legitimate breaking point because her internal sense of worth was being systematically dismantled by vague promises and corporate gatekeeping. It's fascinating to observe the psychological shift here. Hope is moving from a pleaser archetype, always seeking the approval of the Forrester hierarchy, to a disruptor. She's tired of waiting for a launch date that feels more like a carrot on a stick than a professional commitment. This transition is essential for her character's survival, yet it's fraught with emotional peril because she is effectively declaring that her creative vision is more important than her mother's hard-won stability with Ridge. When Hope put pen to paper on that Logan contract, she didn't just sign a business deal. She signed a declaration of independence that she is now forced to hide like a crime. The psychological layer here is thick with irony. Hope, the woman known for her uncompromising honesty, is now lying to her mother's face because she knows the truth will shatter Brooke's fragile world. Brooke is gushing about a future at Forrester that Hope has already walked away from, and the emotional disconnect between them is becoming a ticking time bomb. In my opinion, Hope's decision to hide the contract is a classic defense mechanism born out of a fear of maternal disappointment, yet it's also a deeply selfish move that will likely backfire. She is trying to have it both ways, the freedom of her own company and the safety of Brooke's support, but in the world of the Logans and Forresters, you cannot serve two masters. By involving Donna in this web of lies, Hope is dragging her family into a conflict that will force everyone to pick a side, essentially ending the unified family front Brooke has worked so hard to maintain. Just as the Logan-Forrester war enters its most volatile phase, we see the return of the ultimate wildcards, Wyatt Spencer and Shauna Fulton. This isn't just a nostalgic reunion. It's a calculated move by Bill Spencer to expand the Logan empire and, more importantly, his own influence over the canvas. Wyatt's return after years away signals a shift in the Spencer family power dynamic, with Bill forcing his son back into the fray to serve as a corporate lieutenant in this new expansion. Analyzing Wyatt's return, it's clear he's being positioned as a bridge between the old guard and this new, aggressive Logan business strategy. But the real firebrand is Shauna Fulton, a woman whose very name sends Brooke Logan into a psychological tailspin. Shauna's return is the ultimate X factor, because she represents the one thing Brooke cannot control, a woman who isn't afraid to play dirty and who has a history of snatching Ridge away under the most scandalous circumstances. Shauna isn't just back for a job, she's back to reclaim a seat at the table, and her presence is guaranteed to turn the corporate rivalry into a deeply personal bloodbath. The psychology of the new Logan empire. Why is Bill Spencer suddenly so invested in building up the Logan name? On the surface, it looks like he's helping Katie, but psychologically, this feels like Bill's attempt to assert dominance over Ridge and the Forresters by proxy. By poaching Hope and bringing back Wyatt and Shauna, he's creating a rival powerhouse that doesn't just compete with Forrester Creations. It seeks to replace it as the premier destination for LA's elite. Hope's decision to bring Deacon Sharpe along for the ride is another brilliant, albeit risky, psychological move. It's her way of building a team that owes their loyalty entirely to her, rather than the Forrester legacy. However, this new empire is built on a foundation of secrets. The interpretation I'm leaning toward is that Hope is subconsciously trying to recreate the Forrester structure at Logan, but without the overbearing shadow of Steffi and Ridge. She wants to be the queen of her own castle, but she's forgotten that every castle requires a defense, and her defenses are currently made of glass. While the adults are playing corporate chess, the next generation is engaging in a raw, emotional war of their own. The feud between Will and RJ over Elektra is a fascinating mirror of the rivalries that define their fathers' lives. Will's low blow against RJ is more than just a sibling spat. It's an assertion of dominance that signals the end of their civil relationship. RJ's immediate demand that will be fired shows an incredible level of entitlement and insecurity, proving that even the peaceful RJ has a breaking point when his ego is bruised. From a psychological perspective, RJ is terrified of losing his position, both professionally and romantically, to Spencer. The Spencer men have a history of being disruptors in the Forrester world, and Will is stepping into that role with a terrifying level of confidence. This youth war adds a layer of escalation to the Hope/Steffi drama. If the kids can't get along at the bikini bar, there is zero hope for the parents to maintain decorum in the boardroom. We are seeing the birth of a multi-generational conflict that will likely haunt these families for the next decade. When Denise Richards' Shauna Fulton walks into Bill's office, the energy in Los Angeles changes instantly. She claims she wants a job at the new Logan fashion house, but her real target is likely the stability of the people who looked down on her for years. Shauna thrives on being the underdog who wins, and her return is a direct threat to Brooke's current bliss. With Ridge, I believe Shauna is the personification of Brooke's deepest insecurities. She is the reminder that Ridge's loyalty is often a matter of who is standing in front of him at the moment. By seeking employment at Logan, Shauna is forcing Brooke to choose between professional growth for the family and her own personal peace of mind. It's a masterclass in psychological manipulation. Shauna doesn't have to attack Brooke directly. She just has to be present, and Brooke will do the rest of the damage to herself through paranoia and jealousy. We have to talk about the inevitable moment when the truth comes out. Steffi and Ridge are planning a relaunch date for Hope, unaware that she has already betrayed them. When that announcement is made, and Hope has to reveal her signed Logan contract, the explosion will be unlike anything we've seen in years. Steffi will feel vindicated in her belief that the Logans are opportunistic takers, and Ridge will feel personally betrayed by a daughter figure he's supported for years. The emotional insight here is that Hope actually wants this confrontation. Subconsciously, she is done being the perfect one. There is a part of her that wants to see the look on Steffi's face when she realizes she no longer holds the power over Hope's career. But the interpretation that haunts me is that Hope might be underestimating Steffi's capacity for retaliation. Steffi doesn't just get mad, she gets even, and she has the entire Forrester legal and corporate machine behind her. Hope might find herself in a legal battle that drains her new company before it even starts its first runway show. Bill and Katie's partnership in this business venture is also a psychological minefield. Is Bill doing this to win Katie back, or is he using the Logan name as a front for his own ambitions? Liam is already celebrating Hope's move, seeing it as a victory for their side, but Liam has a history of being blinded by his own idealism. He doesn't see the war that is coming, he only sees the freedom, and that lack of foresight might be his undoing. The interpretive angle here is that the Spencers are effectively weaponizing the Logans. By giving Hope the platform she was denied at Forrester, they are ensuring that the Logan-Forrester feud stays active and aggressive. This serves Bill's interests because as long as the two fashion houses are at each other's throats, he can navigate the chaos to his own advantage. It's a classic power play, and Hope is the beautiful, talented pawn at the center of it all. So, let's talk about that moment we all saw coming but still weren't quite ready for. Did Hope Logan just sign her own professional death warrant? Or is she finally becoming the boss she was always meant to be? Think about it. For years, we've seen her play the role of the good girl. She's been the patient designer, the peacemaker, and the daughter who always puts her mother's happiness first. But something changed this week, didn't it? The look on her face when she was talking to Steffi wasn't the usual hope for the future optimism. It was pure, raw frustration. She's tired of waiting around for promises from the Forresters that never seem to actually happen. And honestly, can you blame her? How many times can you be told, maybe next week, before you realize that maybe actually means never? The funny thing is Hope really tried to make it work. She went to Steffi again, pushing for real answers about her fashion line. She didn't want vague corporate talk. She wanted a date on the calendar. But Steffi just kept stalling. It's like watching a game of cat and mouse where the mouse finally realized she has a whole other house she can go to. That house is Katie Logan's new company, simply called Logan. It sounds like a dream, right? Creative freedom, a fresh start, and no Steffi looking over her shoulder every 5 minutes. But as we know in this world, nothing is ever that simple. There's always a price to pay, and this time, the price might be Hope's relationship with her own mother. When Hope finally put that pen to paper and signed the Logan contract, it felt like a victory and a betrayal all at once. She's officially moving her vision to the Logan banner. But here's the kicker. She's keeping it a total secret from Brooke. Can you believe that? Hope Logan, the woman who practically invented being honest, is now lying to her mother's face. And Brooke is over there gushing about how great things are going to be. She thinks she's finally convinced Ridge and Steffi to give Hope a relaunch date. She is literally celebrating a future at Forrester that Hope has already walked away from. It's heartbreaking to watch because you just know this is going to blow up in a massive way. What do you think is going to happen when Brooke finds out her daughter went behind her back? Brooke has worked so hard to keep the peace between the Logans and the Forresters, mostly so she can stay happy with Ridge. But now, Hope has basically declared war. Donna was right there in the room when it happened, too. She saw Hope sign it, and she was practically begging her to reconsider. Donna's warning was chilling. She told Hope that the price for this move is just too big. She knows that once this comes out, the truce is over. All hell is going to break loose, and the families are going to be forced to pick sides again. Are you Team Logan or Team Forrester on this one? Because it feels like there's no middle ground anymore. While Hope is busy building her secret empire, the guys are having their own set of problems at the bikini bar. We had this summer party that was supposed to be all fun and romance, but of course, things went sideways. Well, Spencer is back in town, and he is not holding back. He's been chasing after Elektra, telling her he can't live without her. He even said he needs her like he needs air. It's very dramatic, very Spencer. And it actually seemed to be working. Elektra was really feeling the vibe. But then we have RJ and Dylan watching from the sidelines. And let's just say they weren't exactly cheering for the happy couple. The tension between Will and RJ is just explosive right now. They ended up getting into this heated argument, and Will delivered what the spoilers are calling a low blow. Whatever he said, it must have been personal because RJ didn't just get mad. He went nuclear. He actually went to Ridge and Steffi and demanded that they fire Will from Forrester Creations immediately. Can you imagine? Firing your own family member over a fight at a bar? It shows how much RJ is struggling with his own ego and his fear of losing Elektra. It's a mess, but honestly, it's the kind of mess we love to watch. Who do you think Ridge is going to side with? His son or his nephew? And just when you thought the cast couldn't get any more crowded, we have the return of the legends. Wyatt Spencer is officially coming home. They'll basically force him to come back to Los Angeles to help with this Logan Empire expansion. Bill is playing the long game here. He wants to strengthen the Logan brand, and he needs Wyatt to be his right-hand man. But Darren Brooks, who plays Wyatt, teased something even bigger. He said Wyatt isn't coming back alone. He's bringing a surprise special guest with him. Now, everyone is wondering who it could be. Is it a new love interest? Is it someone from his past? The theories are flying, but one thing is for sure. Whoever it is, they're going to shake things up. But wait, there's more. Because where there is a Spencer, there is usually a Fulton not too far behind. Shauna Fulton is back, you guys. Denise Richards is returning to the role after 4 years, and she says Shauna is still the same troublemaker we remember. Bill was completely caught off guard when she just strolled into his office. She wants a job at the new Logan company, and she is not taking no for an answer. But let's be real. Shauna isn't just back for a paycheck. She's going to be crossing paths with Ridge and Brooke again very soon. We all remember the Las Vegas wedding drama, right? Brooke definitely remembers, and she is not going to be happy to see her old rival back in town. Do you think Shauna is really trying to turn over a new leaf, or is she back to steal Ridge away one more time? It's such a classic love triangle, and adding Shauna back into the mix is like pouring gasoline on a fire that was just starting to go out. Brooke and Shauna's rivalry is legendary, and things are going to get very ugly very fast. Plus, if Wyatt and Shauna are working together at the new Logan house, it creates this whole other power dynamic that the Forresters aren't ready for. It's all connected. Hope's move, Wyatt's return, Shauna's arrival. It's a coordinated strike against the Forrester dominance. Then there's Carter and Daphne. They've been trying so hard to start a family, but it sounds like they're heading for some really tough news. They've been through so many negative tests, and it's starting to take a toll. There's a mention of a doctor's visit that might bring some devastating infertility news. It's a very grounded, emotional storyline in the middle of all this corporate warfare, and my heart just breaks for them. Carter has always wanted to be a dad, and seeing him and Daphne go through this is going to be a real tear-jerker. So, what are we looking at for the next few weeks? It's basically a total collapse of the peace treaty. Hope is going to make a big public announcement about her new line at Logan, and the fallout at Forrester Creations is going to be massive. Steffi is going to feel totally betrayed, and the argument between her and Hope is described as an explosion. Ridge is going to be caught right in the middle, trying to handle two different fashion houses that are ready to go to war. It's the kind of high-stakes drama that keeps us glued to the screen. The question I keep coming back to is, why now? Why did Hope finally decide that this was the moment to break the rules? Maybe she realized that being the good girl only got her so far. Maybe she's tired of living in Steffi's shadow. But by doing it this way, the lying, the secret contracts, the alliance with the Spencers, she might be losing the one thing she cares about most, which is her family's unity. She's gambling everything on herself. And while I love seeing her stand up for herself, I'm worried about what happens when the cards are all on the table. Think about Brooke for a second. She's finally in a good place with Ridge. She thinks she's fixed everything. And then she finds out her daughter has been plotting a corporate takeover with Bill Spencer and Shauna Fulton. That is a lot for anyone to handle. It's a betrayal that goes way beyond business. It's personal. And we know Brooke. She doesn't just get upset. She gets protective. She's going to have to decide if she stands by Hope's ambition or if she tries to save her own marriage by smoothing things over with the Forresters. What do you think Wyatt's role is going to be in all of this? He's always been the more level-headed Spencer, but Bill has a way of getting his sons to do exactly what he wants. If Bill is using Wyatt to build this Logan empire, is Wyatt going to go along with it? Or is he going to find himself caught between his father and his friends? And that surprise guest, could it be Flo? Or maybe someone even more unexpected? Darren Brooks said he wanted to know where all the pieces fit in, and honestly, so do we. And let's not forget about the kids. RJ wanting Will fired is a huge escalation. It shows that the rivalry isn't just about Elektra anymore. It's about power. Will is a Spencer, and Spencers don't just walk away quietly when they're told no. This feud between the younger generation is mirroring the one their parents have been fighting for decades. It's like a cycle that just keeps repeating itself, and it's fascinating to watch the new players step into these old roles. The next few weeks are going to be a roller coaster. We've got corporate betrayals, secret contracts, the return of some of our favorite and most troublesome characters, and a generation of kids who are ready to burn it all down. It feels like the landscape of the show is shifting in a major way. The Forresters have had the upper hand for a long time, but with the Logans and Spencers teaming up, the power balance is finally tipping. But let's get into the real debate here. Is Hope actually being a traitor? That's what some people are going to call her. She's taking her talents and her brand, a brand that was built at Forrester, and moving it to the competition. Some would say she owes it to the people who gave her a start. But others would say she's been treated like an afterthought for too long, and she's just taking back what's hers. Where do you stand? Does she owe the Forresters her loyalty, or has that ship already sailed? And what about Shauna? Do you think she's actually going to get a job at Logan, or is Brooke going to find a way to block her? Shauna is a survivor, and she knows how to work the system. But Brooke has the home field advantage here. It's going to be a battle of the icons, and I am here for every single second of it. Denise Richards says it feels like she never left, and honestly, the show feels more bold when she's around causing trouble. We've also